The NFL draft goes
Well, it
for 2
is
weeks.
long, man. I'll tell you that. Here's a guy probably will be tuned in. No, I know he'll be tuned in. Here's our friend Don Banks of Sports Illustrated. Hello, Banks. How are you?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you?
Good. So, at the top of the draft this year, no surprise, are two quarterbacks, neither of whom I think is an exceptional quarterback. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I would agree that they're not slam dunk. There's no Andrew Luck. Even even Marcus Mariota, Daniel Winston type of quarterbacks here.
Yeah.
Now, people have fallen in love with them perhaps just as deeply, but I would say the consensus is they're not slam dunk.
What is intriguing and not surprising at all is today I've seen 4 or 5 projections of the draft. None of them are even similar to each other. I don't think I've ever seen, and I'm just talking about top 10 picks. It's all over the map. What do you make of it?
I think that's what happens when you have a big swamp, and let's say it's 3 through 20. There's just not a lot of variance there's not a lot of consensus in how that's going to fall. And I think there's a bunch of guys that keep viewed roughly in the same draft grade neighborhood. Quarterback got pushed up because of need, but there's not even then consensus on number 3. I was Jalen Ramsey in San Diego. Today I started thinking it might be much more in DeForest Buckner, and if I had it to do over, I'd probably go with Buckner. Other people believe they're going to take a tackle, either Laramie Tunsil or even Ronnie Stanley or Trey Daniels. I don't think consensus is this draft strong suit whatsoever.
There is exactly one running back projected in the first round.
And I don't understand
I have your draft.
I don't understand.
And it's Ezekiel Elliott, who I watch virtually every game he played because he played at Ohio State. You know that's my team. So he's pretty good. I don't have a sense that he's great. I don't think he's not Jim Brown. You have him going at 4. In an era where running backs have been diminished in their significance in the scheming of the National Football League, why do you think he's that important? Why do you think he goes that high?
I think Dallas is in love with him. I think Jerry Jones is in love with him. I think he very well can go at 4 because, look, there is a philosophy out there that running backs set way too high, unless, of course, you find the exceptions. And the exceptions are few. Adrian Peterson, perhaps Todd Gurley last year, who surprising to practice hot and coming off the knee injury. But the thought is, if you really have a conviction about one, and you're in a win-now mode, clearly the Cowboys are, trying to maximize Tony Romo's Super Bowl window, then maybe you turn a blind eye to the conventional wisdom about the value or lack thereof of a running back and say, if you can get an elite running back, a truly elite running back for 5 to 7 years, that's enough to warrant the number 4 investment in this draft. I think there's a battle going on with that. I think Jerry Jones is the win now, wide awake guy, and I think Stephen Jones, who is running most of the draft these days, is the big picture long view. And long view, they'll probably take a Joey Bosa or J.S. Ramsey. If Jerry wins out, I think he's out of it.
Not to dwell on the Cleveland Browns, but I honestly have seen 2 different lottery projections that had both Elliott and Bosa going to the Browns at number 8. You have them going 4 and 5. Now the rumor comes the Browns, who have already traded the number 2 pick and down to 8, might be shopping the 8 pick. First of all, have you heard that? Do you believe there's truth in it?
Yes, I believe they are very open to moving down. I think the most likely trade partner, let's say Elliott gets past Dallas, let's say Stephen Jones carries the day. I think there's going to be a Miami Dolphins team very eager to get up into that 8th slot to take him. But their need is great.
Miami?
Miami, yep.
Yeah,
Miami.
okay.
Lamar Miller to Houston, they really don't have much there. I think they'd be motivated to get up to 8. So I do think Cleveland will be shopping that pick. Maybe not for Elliott. Maybe somebody that's Laramie Tunsil still on the board. I think he's the best player in the draft. We have him graded first overall. It's worth my time to get up again. Maybe that's the New York Giants at 10. Who knows? Maybe even number 12 New Orleans, but I think it's 10 people if he lasts that long.
Yeah.
And the same with Ronnie Stanley if he's still on the board at number 8.
So if the Browns trade down, and let's say it's with Miami, Miami's at 13 right now, and the Browns do not have really a young quarterback. I don't know whether you think RG3 is going to be the guy, but what do you think of Paxton Lynch, the quarterback out of Memphis? Tall, skinny, not ready to play perhaps, but some basic tools.
I like his arm. I think he does need refinement, and I think he's got to go to a team that's not going to look to him at all this year. And, I don't know if that's going to fit Cleveland because they're taking a real gamble on RG3. I've heard that they're not in love with Lynch, so I don't think that would be a trade down and then a pick, a 13 for them. But they could go lower, but if they drop down considerably, they might see the value of a Lynch, in the teens or even the early 20s. That's too great to pass up.
You're one of the few guys that actually have a fourth quarterback in the first round in your mock draft, and Connor Cook too. What do you see there?
Well, I'm not 100% confident in that, but I do think if I've learned one thing over the years about the NFL draft, quarterbacks always get pushed up. And I think Connor Cook, the 29 Arizona, makes some sense. You hear now that Paxton Lynch, who I have going to the Jets at 20, the Jets are enamored with him. But that doesn't mean another team might not come up in their slot if he's still on the board. I think they just always get overvalued. And I think there's a certain sense, let's say, I don't know, since Andy Dalton entered the league 5-6 years ago, that if you can get that early second round quarterback, it's just a few notches higher. Let's say 8 notches higher in the first round before it's a move to go up again.
That's why I like Kevin Hogan from Stanford. I think he's a good. I think there are days that I've watched him play rather than Goff across the bay. I thought he was better than Goff at times. So.
He's not projected to get that high, but the guy that is really intriguing is Christian Hackenberg of Penn State. Other people are going to come down on him because some people jump with him if he's, first round potential talent, and other people have him in the 5th round. But he's a real wild card. He's a Rorschach test for everyone as to what they see.
Let me ask you this. I think you have 5 Ohio State Buckeyes in the first round. Some guys have had as many as 7 in the first round. It's going to be a great year for the Buckeyes. And look, they are a very good football team. Them, Alabama, the last 2 or 3 years, most of these players, during the time they played, 1-1-8 kind of. But is there a danger in attaching the skill set of the individual player to the team he played on?
Yes. And there were teams. You can remember the University of Texas had a tremendous reputation for quality football teams, and then they get to the pros.
Yeah.
Often their best players in the first round and completely underachieve year after year.
Yeah.
And there have been programs like that. I do think that the Urban Meyer stamp, the Nick Saban stamp, those guys having NFL credibility has given certain schools even more cash since they're winning. People believe that if Nick Saban puts his name on a player, he's got a pretty good chance to be at least a pro and get less than him in a pre-draft scouting process. And I think Urban Meyer gets some of that same carte blanche as well.
We got to get out of here. Enjoy the evening, and then tomorrow and the day after that, and in about 6 weeks this draft will be done. Thank God.
Thanks, guys.
See you. Talk to you soon. Don Banks of Sports Illustrated. So he has Jared Goff going 1, Carson Wentz 2, Jalen Ramsey, the safety from Florida State 3, Ezekiel Elliott, the running back out of Ohio State 4, and then Joey Bosa, the defensive end from the Buckeyes, going at 5.
Running backs.
I've seen them all over the map.
Running backs are like goaltenders for me. Why would you take a running back that high? I just don't understand it. I'm sorry, I just don't understand it.
Well, they're not like goaltenders at all. Goaltenders are important. Running backs are an accessory that you really don't even need in the NFL.
Life expectancy is very short for a running back.
Well, not if you don't get the ball very often. One thing about Elliott is he can block too, and that has value. Back in a minute. Stick around. It's prime time.
What is luxury? For Jeep Grand Cherokee, it's premium leather. And being ready for anything with best-in-class 4x4 capability. select terrain.